love it. This is super fancy.
The first thing they tell us, guys, don't reference the gym.
I know. Just pretend like it's not there. We're like, wow.
I'm playing with toys.
Hey guys, welcome to Pretty Little Liars, the after show here on the theStreamtv fan show network. I'm your host, Sinead de Vries. I'm joined by my pretty little talkers tonight. Over here I got Ashley Mova, Meghan Lamontagne, and Stephanie
What up,
Gray.
guys?
All right, you guys, we have to kind of get right into this episode. There was a lot of information thrown at us, and right at the very end of the episode, thank God, because I kind of felt like nothing was happening there for about 47 minutes. But we leave off this episode with crazy Lesli, and we've just found out all this information about her down in Radley. First of all, what would possess anybody to go to an abandoned mental institution, okay? Then they find a bathtub with that doll. I swear to God, I thought it was a human.
Super creepy. Super
Yep.
creepy. Like, as if those Annie dolls aren't creepy enough, right? We've all had CPR classes. Like, okay, that's freaking creepy.
And they give you those little babies.
Oh my God.
When did you guys have CPR classes?
I know. I'm like, wait, did I miss
Everybody
that?
has CPR classes.
I remember I
Health
took physical education, health class, and I never learned CPR.
It was certified.
Maybe if I was a
Gym.
lifeguard, I would have learned
No,
that.
they made me get certified.
Guys, if you ever need saving, I know CPR.
Thank God.
I don't have it
Ninth
covered.
grade. Ninth grade health class. I was certified in CPR.
Cool, let us know if you guys do that.
Yeah, I do. I'm also from the Midwest, so you know how.
I'm from the East
Yeah, in
Coast.
LA,
yeah.
we don't care if you
Lots
choke
of
or die.
pools there.
Yeah, right? Totally. But no, for real though. So then they're down in Radley. Obviously, they find all of that stuff. It's really creepy. They come across Charles's records that show that he has his organs that like were donated, making us think more and more that Charles is really dead. And then, of course, they pass the picture of Maddie Ziegler on the wall, which is the same girl from Spencer's dream, all while finding out that Mona and Lesli met at Radley.
Nice summary.
That was like,
That was
guys,
a summary.
That was really
That
good.
was like that was
was a lot to talk
5
about
minutes
that.
of information we all got at once, and it all happened while they were at Radley. And I feel like this is just like this all comes back to the fact that so much of this story has to do with that mental institution. That menstrual institution.
I think, okay, I know I might be the only one who thinks this, but I still think Charles is alive. I
Yes,
think the
girl.
sole reason they're doing this whole like organs thing is just so it can be this huge, big, dramatic reveal when we find out that Charles is A. I still think Marlene didn't lie to her fans. She said, no, for real, you guys. She made a video about it right after we found out Charles is A, saying, for real, Charles is A. So I think
I
he's
know. Well,
alive.
I was just looking on Twitter and someone got like super mad at Marlene, was like, why are you lying to the fans? And Marlene tweeted out and she was like, Charles is A. So it's like,
Yeah, I
It's
completely
just-
believe it, and I still think that for whatever reason, I don't know why, I still think that Charles is alive, and I think that Marlene's really going to stick to the story because I feel like if she screwed this one up, that fans would be pissed. Like,
So
obviously,
pissed.
they already are kind of pissed.
I mean, I really hope, honestly, I really hope that there is someone who is alive and who is Charles DiLaurentis and who was Alison and Jason's brother and all this stuff. It makes me think that maybe he is unable to avenge himself and he's got this team of people avenging for him. Like, I don't know, because I just feel like at this point in the story, it's so hard for them to go back and say, like, the death records were fake, the headstone was fake, the story was fake, Mr. D was lying. Like, it all just seems so far-fetched for none of that to have been true.
I
You know what
still
I'm saying?
think, though, that A has accomplices, and that's why
Yeah.
I think that boobs thing is super easy to explain.
Yeah.
It's just one of A's people.
Right.
Yeah, and just like those accomplices could have left those papers there saying that Charles was dead and his organs got donated because, I mean, you just have to print out something from a regular computer just to say that Charles is dead. And, you know, Mrs. D could have easily left that there to kind of cover her tracks. You know, keeping Charles in this like secret house and she wants to like keep him under wraps. You know, just planting that there herself could add like another layer of...
We know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and
Yeah,
we also
yeah.
know with PLL, you guys, that even when you see a freaking dead body,
Yeah.
aka Mona in the trunk, it apparently still means that that person may not be dead.
Right.
So
Totally.
I don't trust
and
this whole dead
plus
thing.
if Charles' organs were donated, then he would have been cremated, which is like part, right?
Right.
Do you have to?
I think so.
No, I don't.
No, you
think
don't. You can
have
donate
to.
your organs and then you donate yourself to science. I've looked far into this since my
Weirdly.
imminent death is coming, and you don't have to be cremated after. That's like a personal choice.
Oh, okay.
Unrelated.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Was I gonna say though?
Maddie.
Yeah, that whole bathtub thing and like that whole dream sequence that Spencer has in the beginning of the episode, and kind of how that all leads back to when she's down there and she's saying, or even before that, when she first is on the phone with Aria and she's like, I knew this girl. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's clearly they've made reference to the fact that Spencer knows Charles, because she said that she felt like she knew him or grew up with him when she was in the dollhouse. You guys know my thoughts on this. I definitely still think that Spencer has some sort of really crazy connection to Charles or the DiLaurentises. I also feel like the fact that that particular room was in her dream with the bathtubs might mean something, especially since she saw Charles's slippers in there in her dream. And then also like that little girl, a lot of people are saying maybe that little girl is Lesli, maybe that little girl is Spencer, because like now we know that Mona met Lesli at Radley, and Lesli knew both Bethany because she was roommates with her, and Charles and Mona. And if Lesli met Mona at Radley, would that mean that she just got out shortly before Spencer got in there? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's true.
All I know, or yeah, no, go.
Because you're made to believe that Lesli knew Charles, like because
Right.
they were like they said long enough to know that.
Well, her records matched when he was there.
Right, exactly.
Maybe backtracking a little bit, maybe that little girl kind of represented, maybe Spencer visited Charles when she was younger.
Maybe.
And she was probably maybe like doing that dance like, oh, why can't I take my brother home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she wanted to take
I
it.
think
she
it was very
couldn't.
significant though, going back to the Annie CPR doll. I call it Annie because that's what they call it. But I mean, it probably set that up. Like, why was it in a tub? Like,
Right.
that's super significant.
Yeah.
And going back to what Mr. DiLaurentiis said, oh, like, Allie, you were found in a burning tub of hot water.
Oh,
and
that ties in. Allie burning
guys,
the tub.
the tub.
Yeah.
Like,
the
that just
tub.
light. Well, thanks for not sharing that
I
gem with
know.
us.
Oh, sorry. I saw the tub and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
put the two and two together.
Also, remember how I said like last week, like how we're supposed to like keep making reference to the fact that Spencer doesn't always remember things from her childhood and stuff like that. Like I could maybe believe that she did go visit Charles, and like the reason why she said she felt like she knew that little girl was maybe that little girl was supposed to represent Bethany Young. You know, like the little Maddie was supposed to be like representative of Bethany Young, which would make sense because we know that Bethany and Charles were really close at Radley.
And then
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then the other thing that people are saying online is about how maybe Spencer was actually in Radley twice.
Right.
And she was
That
the
little girl.
creepy girl was the younger Spencer when she was in Radley back in the day. Also on the show, didn't they make some reference like to that little girl being Allie? And
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
did. And we're like,
she didn't
that
even
makes
get
sense.
blonde hair.
Yeah,
Right.
Spencer was like, yeah, it looked like a little Allie. And I'm like,
Yeah, that
hell
was it.
no,
Yeah,
it didn't.
no.
Stop trying to throw us off,
Stop
all
trying to
right?
throw us off, okay?
But I do think that picture means something. I
Yeah.
don't think they would have shown us a whole picture of Maddie.
Yeah.
What is her actual name?
What is her name in the show?
She didn't
That is
have
her name in the show. I mean, that is her name in real life, Maddie.
Yeah, but I mean
Maddie.
in the show. Because
She didn't have a name.
She didn't have a name.
Oh, she didn't have a name.
Creepy dancer.
She was creepy
Okay.
grudge.
Okay, creepy dancer.
Exorcist girl.
Exorcist girl, yeah.
Like legit. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about Sara Harvey. Who's just like, getting
Do we have to?
So painful, guys. It's so painful.
She is just she makes me want to like scratch my eyeballs out of my head because she is so annoying. First of all, her storyline is so stagnant to me, you guys. And tonight was just so weird. I can't figure out if she's supposed to have significance in all this little side stuff she's doing. Like, is this supposed to be like imperative to the plot, or is this supposed to just like help juice up the story?
Someone tweeted that they were like, Sara Harvey, stop thinking you're relevant because you're not.
You're not.
And I didn't think she was. I thought she was relevant for two reasons. Either she's going to be the new love interest of Emily.
Which
Right.
And
yeah.
and
But that still
now-
doesn't make her that relevant. Like there are
Yeah.
things that are far more relevant in this show right now than that. Like that's why it's annoying me so much, because I feel like it's so pointless to start a whole new love
No,
interest.
I do think that Sara Harvey is relevant because a lot of you guys were tweeting this week. Remember the little girl in a Halloween episode that showed up
Yeah.
at Ashley Marin's, at Hannah's house, and she was like, "I ran away from home. No, don't call my mom. She'll get mad." Same story as
But
Sara Harvey.
honestly, that story, when someone tweeted us that for the first time, I went back to look at it, and it really wasn't that like of an in-depth story. It was just like, call my mom, maybe she won't answer.
Yeah.
It was like two
So
sentences.
here's okay. Now that we've actually actually openly started talking about this, and I was going to bring this up anyways, but now it just even makes more sense. I think if Sara Harvey was in Radley and she did know Charles, here's my new theory, and it's probably been circulating around there, but it's something I never thought of before, especially after seeing Mr. de Laurentiis tonight and how he was reacting towards Allie, like very obsessive. I think that Mr. de Laurentiis was abusive, and I think that Sara Harvey also, her mother clearly seemed abusive.
Her mom is a drunk.
So I think that maybe Sara, even if she knew Charles and doesn't know that she knows Charles or something like that, yeah, her mom's a drunk. Like, maybe a bunch of them, maybe the A team is like abused children.
Maybe the A team all met. Maybe the A team all met at Radley,
and they all had a similar story because they were all like
abused.
I know it's getting deep and
when she was on the phone with her mom, do you guys think that she was genuinely talking to her mom?
Yeah, I
think so.
I don't know.
I can't tell if her mom exists or
At first, I thought she was on the phone, but then when Emily came in, she was kind of like, "Yeah, Mom, I gotta go." I don't know if she was faking
I can't
it
tell
or
if it's
not.
the acting.
I mean, it's really hard to tell at this point, like, if it's the storyline that's cheesy or if it's just her delivery that's cheesy. Like, let's be real, because I kind of feel like I don't believe half of this stuff she says.
Some people said on Twitter, this is all like registering now, that her haircut, when she got her haircut, was supposed to make you think of those two little boys in the video, and that she was maybe one of those little boys. That's the whole transgender thing, though. So
they did look really, really similar.
They did.
But I don't.
I think
why are her roots black? I'm sorry, but like she didn't have black roots like 2 weeks ago. So what did she do? Like dye her hair?
Yeah, I know.
Did they do
black
that?
and then bleach it blonde?
Right, I know. I don't know.
Did Charles dye her hair blonde to make her more resemble Allie? But at the same time, then why are you going more platinum, girl? I realized that you lifted your hair color.
I know, but that girl didn't have roots.
That girl did not have roots.
Yeah, but she didn't have roots.
You mean to tell me in all of the
It's
crap that's been
growing.
going on, she's had time to go to the salon and
Like,
dye
you
her
think-
hair
you
platinum
think
blonde?
Charles-
She doesn't go to school. What else
You
does she have
think
to
Charles
do?
bought some of that CVS brand? You
Yeah.
know?
He probably did.
You know?
You think? So? I mean, he's making little wigs off of tennis balls. God knows he has time to go see them.
She's so annoying. And then she takes Emily to go get a tattoo, and like that
freaking
bird
weird.
cage. I was like, oh look, guys, she got Tippy tattooed on her back. Like, what the hell? Stop! Like, she's so annoying. I don't
know.
like her.
You need
I
one,
think-
Emily. You need one. Like,
I'm
calm
starting
down.
to think, though, that you know how we were like, how is she relevant? Maybe now the turn of her relevancy is going to be that she's this negative influence on Emily. So now she's trying to take Emily toward this dark path of getting tattoos when she shouldn't, and who knows what's next.
She doesn't seem like a bad influence. She was like terrified when she found
Yeah,
out
she
that
was
Emily
so scared.
that they were looking for A. She's like, why didn't you tell me? I've been like stalked by this person. It's
I
like,
could be wrong,
grow
but-
a pair.
But it was super weird when she saw her phone. Like, I was kind of scared. I thought that she was going to delete the text message.
But she didn't.
It was kind of really weird.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't.
Yeah.
She told her about it, which just
It
makes
was
me feel like
super
more.
weird.
What did
that
she
she's
say
not
that was in the
sketchy.
previews? She was like, I've seen that person before, the black hoodie. Where did she say she saw it?
No,
No, but she said it
obviously.
specifically, and it was in the preview too. I can't remember. She's like, or I
At
don't
the
know.
park or something?
I don't know. I thought she gave a specific
She's seen
location.
it before, maybe because you lived with him for 3 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that too. That too.
Well, let's talk about that shadowy person, and let's talk about where we saw him, it, at the little abandoned little doll farm. First of all, what was that place?
Doll farm. Super
Did
creepy.
they ever say where they were? They were in a junkyard, right? It was a junkyard.
Yeah.
That, of course, has a lot of conveniently placed clowns and dolls in it, of course. And then Clark, who also is in the same category as Sara, like, who are you and what are you doing here? Takes a picture of A's boobs, right? And now,
like we were talking about, to be underneath a hoodie, like A's got to have some jugs.
like, double D's if I've ever seen them, because that was seriously, like, very obvious that those were boobs. And it was like, she's wearing a hoodie, so.
That's like some boobs.
still-
Like,
How big are your boobs, girl?
you work at A, you work
Yeah.
it.
No.
We just started eliminating accomplices based on their cup size on the show.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
how
So
big
we
are
know
Sara
it's not like
Harvey's boobs?
Spencer,
How big are
Aria,
Aria's boobs?
Emily, Sara.
Yeah. I still think that that's an accomplice.
Yeah.
That's like easy to
too.
explain. Boom, accomplice is a girl with boobs. I also hate Clark.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't know. I
I
feel
don't know,
like
I feel like
zero
you can't, I
chemistry.
feel like you can't hate him because he hasn't done anything wrong and he's not annoying
Except be
like
terribly
Sara.
boring and have zero chemistry with
Right.
Aria.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go on a date.
But that's not
Do you want to
his
go to
fault,
dinner
you know?
tonight? You're like so awkward. What is your purpose?
And he's like, I recognize you from the news. I thought it'd be a good idea to ask you out on a date.
I
Like,
didn't want to
something.
intimidate you or make you feel self-conscious. Relax, Clark. You're not like hot stuff.
She doesn't like you.
But who has big knockers, guys? Can we just talk about who has big
Allie.
knockers? Allie as big knockers. Yeah, you do, girl. Yeah, you do. I love it.
No, I always talk about how I hate new characters. Like, obviously, Clark. Like, what are you doing? Like, just leave.
Yeah.
But Dean came back this episode. Dean.
He was cute.
And he's so cute.
I'm into him.
He was really working it with Spencer, and I was falling for it.
Yeah.
That scene was really funny too when she's at the AA meeting.
Oh my God, I can't.
And
So awkward.
she's trying to like smuggle the donuts in the back. I mean, obviously I would be the one smuggling donuts in the back too, but like that's hysterical because that was like all supposed to be like what? She was like trying to maybe get sober. She needed a little extra push. She ends up running into him. Now, do you guys think we're ever going to see him again?
I hope so because I know
I don't
this
know.
sounds bad, but I kind of am bored with Toby a little bit, and I'm ready. Dean was looking cute. I think we're all like on Team Dean. Also, Spencer casually eating pot brownies throughout her school day.
No, Hannah, don't touch them. They're my
Like as soon as
Yeah.
she wakes up in the morning, she's like, oh, a little coffee, a little weed brownie, ready to go to school.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
crazy,
No.
right?
But, oh geez, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, no, but the scene with Spencer and Mona,
Yeah.
Mona
Yeah.
knows more than we think she
Well,
does.
I think
I think that
I
was
think
in
that's for
reference
the whole
to-
Leslie thing.
Yeah, that was in
Yeah,
reference.
it's true.
Leslie must have said to Mona, like, okay, you're the worst person on the face of the earth. You've ruined my entire life. The only way you can make this up to me is to go get my freaking file from Radley because these girls cannot find out that I shared a room with Bethany Young or I was even there in the first place, right? And so Mona, obviously, that's the reason why she went to Radley. That's the reason why she didn't go with Hanna and Spencer, which is what we're supposed to believe. I kind of feel like Mona went there on purpose and wasn't that bothered that they had her information, Leslie's information. It kind
Yeah.
of seemed like
Yeah.
she was like, oh, whoopsies, I have all these files of Leslie. Take
Oh,
it."
like she's
right.
so
Like,
she's
you know,
not
like
really
she
a
wanted
team
them
with
to
Leslie.
find out Leslie's
she-
connection
yeah.
to Radley.
Okay, so
when
then, yeah.
When she made the phone call to Leslie, she was like, they know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like,
I did everything I
they know.
could. Sorry,
yes,
bitch.
Leslie was freaking out. Like, and her
Yeah.
voice sounded exactly like the recording that we've heard before.
Hello, she's mental.
She's so mental.
I can't with her line. Okay,
She's so mental.
When she was doing the whole cover, trying to pretend like she was mad at Mona and Hannah, and then she said that one line. She's like, "You bag of hair."
Bag of hair.
Has
Yeah.
anyone heard of that as an insult?
Never.
That's not
Guys,
like a thing.
she was in a mental institution. I feel like we can't hold anything against her because she's clearly psychotic.
If someone was
Clearly.
like,
Girl
"Oh,
just
Megan,
learned
you
how to insult again.
Yeah.
If someone was like, "Oh, Megan, you bag of hair," I'd be like, "Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
so
I know.
much."
Oh my God,
God, do I
thank
have
you.
that much?
It's the volume, right? It's the volume. For real,
God, it's
for real.
panting
It's the
for me.
oomph. I always got that oomph, you know.
We have to talk about Mr. DiLaurentis too. Obviously, we talked about it a
Creeper.
little bit. And that whole scene with Allie and Lorenzo, you guys, their kiss.
Oh my gosh, so weird. He came out of
Guys, I kind of
left
felt
field.
in that scene like Allie was like my little sister. I still feel like she's a baby for some reason, even though
Yeah.
she's like in the show hooked up. I think in real life, because we know her age and that she
Yeah.
is so young, I was just like, oh my God, first kiss, even though it's like really not.
Right.
You know what I
Even
mean?
though
See
she,
her.
out of everyone, has probably kissed more guys
No, but
than
I
any
felt
of the
like
liars.
it was super cute. Like I
It
felt like it
was.
was innocent. I felt the kiss was a very innocent
I
kiss.
didn't because I think Lorenzo is significantly older.
Oh.
He just looks like so much older to me.
I don't know why
Maybe
you
because
guys
of the
keep
police-
saying that.
She's in high school. She's probably maybe like borderline 18, like 17, 18, and he's what?
Yeah, but I feel like he's probably the same age as like Ezra, and
I mean,
Allison is supposed to be
speaking
the same
of,
age
where
as
the hell is
Aria,
he?
and
I
so like
know.
that's why I don't feel like it's being. I don't think he looks that old.
I mean, he looks 30. Realistically, he looks 30, but in the show, I mean, how old is he? Like 25?
I think he's supposed to be playing. I think we're not supposed to pay attention to his age. Like I feel like he's supposed to be like normally
Oh, we're not supposed to.
aged. You
Oh my
know,
God.
you know what I mean? Like
Normally.
I feel like the whole shock between like Ezra and Aria is supposed to be more of a shock to us than like Allie and Lorenzo.
But also her dad, Allie's dad,
Yeah.
being super weird. I kind
Yeah.
of thought he was a little bit more of being a protective parent that like has gone through so much stuff with his daughter that he almost doesn't know how to handle it being a dad, and maybe he's more of like a strict figure and like doesn't know how to be lovey-dovey. So maybe he's just kind of going down that route, not so abusive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
like maybe he feels like he's lost so much of his family already and like hasn't done his best to protect them. Like
Yeah.
Lorenzo was saying, like that he is really mad at himself. Like he does feel like I have, in order for me to like make sure that I make up for, you know, losing one kid, like I have to keep these other kids, and he doesn't know how to be a
Yeah.
loving father.
Yeah.
Did we cover everything?
I think we did. I'm looking at my notes and I'm like,
the only going back really fast to Mona. This kind of just hit now, but you know how it wasn't that far off from her character before to kind of hoodwink everyone, and now she's hoodwinking
What's hoodwink?
Leslie like a double team.
Oh, okay.
You know, so she like pretends she's your friend, whatever, that she's on your side, and then she switches, and now she's doing that with Leslie.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think like, is Mona on the A team and she's really behind a lot of it? Like she's the one with the boobs.
Yeah.
Does she have boobs in real life?
Yeah.
Look up that Dancing with the Stars footage and make sure.
No.
She does, but like I don't know. Like I just feel like we've been there, done that with her.
I know,
talk about
that's the
the
only thing.
Or are we gonna do that?
Yeah, we're gonna do that soon.
Okay.
All right, you guys. Yeah, don't worry, girl. I got you. All right, we're gonna be right back with your questions. If you're watching us right now, hop online, Twitter, YouTube, using the hashtag PLLAS. Subscribe to theStream.tv on YouTube, and then just send in your questions, comments, theories, anything you want us to talk about on the show. We're gonna be right back.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
Ben, the more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy, it was hot, it was heated, I was into it. You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell them, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Hello. All right, we're back, you guys. You guys are sending some really good questions in, and I just want to make a comment that most of the questions that we have here tonight have been said all night on Twitter. So if we don't pick your question, please send us your answers, because clearly this is stuff that everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
So the first one comes from @Bo4CACA. Says, do you think Sara could be A? By the way, ILY too, girl. No, I don't think Sara is A.
No, I don't think Sarah's A.
I think Sara is way too clueless and way too lame to be A. I think that Sara has a lot of significance, hopefully more than just getting tattoos with Emily, but do we really think she's A?
That would be the biggest letdown. Biggest letdown ever, and I know I do not
Yeah,
think
I
she's
just want
A
my
at all.
mind to be blown. Like I want whoever A is to be like, oh my God, I can't believe we knew this
And
person
apparently
the
we
entire
know
time.
A, but like we've
Yeah.
seen Sara before, like these last couple episodes.
Right,
Yeah,
and
someone
her
really-
roots suck.
Yeah.
Someone really big like Ezra.
Oh my God,
come on.
Stephanie.
Next.
All right, next @JCREBECR says, please talk about the fact of A putting chips into the liars. We
Yes.
thought you'd never
Yes.
ask. Okay, obviously Spencer made that, or not Spencer, Emily made that weird comment at the tattoo and was like, it's just really sensitive right here. And then in the preview for next week, that's hilarious, by the way, with Spencer
know,
moving
right?
Hannah's head.
Oh, that was really fun. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the net too.
Yeah, you guys,
That's funny.
A actually put chips into the liars. I
But
thought
why were
like
they
that's like
naked?
super far-fetched.
Why were they naked?
Because
Like,
that's
I
what
think it was
happens
just
when
to
you
make
put
it, like,
chips in
super
the
A is
dramatic.
a freaking creep,
Yeah.
maybe, and that's how he thought that he was gonna do
Yikes,
it.
eh?
In
Yeah.
order to put chips into their necks, they had to be completely
naked, duh.
completely naked.
Of course.
Yeah, I definitely think that was just for effect, just for
Yeah.
the A creeper effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys like called it. I mean,
I
last
didn't
week
even
during the
think of
show,
that.
we didn't even think of that. We were like,
Yeah.
oh, cell phones, cars, and then we were
Yeah.
like, oh, damn, okay, they have
That's
trackers in
crazy.
them.
Or their bodies.
Yeah, for real. All right, @PLLAS fan page says, do you guys think that Charles was the one that killed Jessica? Let me say this. If the story is right, if Mr. DiLaurentis is telling the truth, that he was the one that didn't know, right, that Charles was being buried or whatever, and he is also the one that decided to put Charles into the institution and didn't want the girls, or not the girls, Alison and Jason to know, then wouldn't Charles hate Mr. D way more than he hated Jessica?
No,
and
because
DeLaurentis?
maybe he didn't have like a relationship with Mr. D in the sense that Mr. D wasn't promising to protect him.
Or wasn't
whereas
his dad.
Mrs. D
Yeah.
was.
What if
wasn't his
Spencer's
dad
is his dad? And
Right.
also maybe Jessica said something to Charles like, all right, I'm not going to cover for you anymore. And then, boom, you gone, Mrs. D.
Yeah.
Charles
Right.
hit you.
Yeah.
Gone.
Right.
Yeah.
At Susan Falls 1864 says, I think Mona knows something about the hashtag creepy dancer. So we obviously, like you said, Megan, we were led to believe that Mona definitely had some information when she was standing outside with Spencer. Whether or not that's just the Lesli stuff, maybe, but maybe Mona does know who that little girl is. If that little girl is in fact Bethany or Lesli, it's very possible that Mona knows who the little girl is, right?
Yeah. Can I also, we didn't talk about this, I just realized, did anyone think it was super weird that Mona was afraid of Allie the most this whole time and not afraid of A? Which makes me think she's working with A. That's why she wouldn't be afraid of A. That's why she's trying to put all of the arrows to point at Allie.
You just kind of
That's why
reminded me.
that's why you're like, yeah.
I just had a little light bulb because someone had tweeted us, if Mona saw A come up the stairs, and didn't Mona see A's face? And maybe Mona is afraid of Allie because she saw Allie come up the stairs.
As A.
As A.
And Allie is A.
Allie is A.
Okay, guys.
Okay, anyways.
I'm so serious.
I don't necessarily believe that Mona is innocent. I do believe that back in season 4 when she was like, I'm never going to know who she is. I feel like if Mona was part of this of the A team, she would have known who Redcoat and A was this entire time, but she obviously had no clue
said no,
way back
she
when.
Didn't know.
What?
Well, like way back when, she's like, I have no idea who Redcoat is.
Yeah.
Even when she was Big A, she's like, I don't know who
Yeah.
Redcoat is. Everything goes back to Redcoat, is what she said.
Oh.
Right, that was the one who was in charge,
Yeah,
you know?
in that like episode where the house was burning.
Right, and that's why I feel like she can't be the main one in charge, because I feel like the main one in charge has to know who Redcoat is at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like
Right.
Big A, Uber A knows who Redcoat
Yeah.
is, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the last question comes from @Forrest G Gump, @Forrest Gump. Is there a chance Bethany Young was Spencer, or Spencer went to Radley when she was a kid?
I do think that.
Obviously,
like-
this is the #1 question everyone's going to be asking. I said this like 2 weeks ago. I would love that, you guys,
If
so
Bethany
much.
was Spencer?
No. If that little girl that Spencer saw in her dreams is really her remembering her childhood.
In Radley. Spencer was in
Seeing
Radley.
Bethany's? Oh, Spencer was in Radley.
Yeah,
Spencer was in Radley
Spencer
as
was
a
in
kid.
Radley
Got
as a
it,
kid,
got it,
and
got
that was
it.
her crazy
Okay,
kid
okay.
self, who's also triple jointed and a professional dancer.
I feel like she would know what she looked like though as a kid. That's the only thing that's a little weird.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
like who would
That's
look at
true.
themselves
Apparently
as
they
a
think
kid?
that
Or
kid
remember.
looks like Allie, so I don't know.
She also said the little girl looked
Looks
like the
like
mini
Allie.
Allison, which is
Yeah.
also
No.
not true whatsoever. I guess maybe like the fact that she knows her so well is because maybe like she visited, like you said. I love that, by the way, that she
Yeah.
visited Charles because she's related to him or
Yeah.
whatever, but she saw Charles as a kid and maybe that's how she was connected. That's how she was connected to Bethany or, you know, all of them. All right, it's a good time to wrap it up, huh? All right, you guys, what do you want to say something else?
Oh yeah. Before we go, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on our Rosewood Funk video. Freaking Marlene King and Shay Mitchell both retweeted our video, so we were like super excited.
We were like group
Rosewood,
texting each other like, what is our life right now? We are so
kept
happy.
like, oh my gosh, guess
We
who
had a
posted it,
serious
guess who
moment.
posted it.
It was really exciting.
So if you
really
haven't
great.
seen it, make sure you guys go watch it. It's on Megan's YouTube channel. We all have posted links of it on
Yeah.
our Twitter
Yeah.
and our Instagram. So make sure you guys check it out and get those views up and like it and do all that good stuff. And
Yeah.
post it everywhere.
Yeah, and there's no Pretty Little Liars next week either, so post it extra so
Yeah.
we all have something to entertain ourselves with. For
sure.
And then we'll kind of see where we're at. Maybe 2 weeks from now, I guess that preview. What did we find out in the preview? Just the
the
trackers.
trackers? Yeah, I think
and
that was
Sarah
really the
Harvey
biggest
is
thing.
still annoying as hell.
Right.
And that's
Okay.
really it. All right, you guys, let us know what you guys think about tonight's episode. Questions, comments, theories, all of that good stuff.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
We dressed up a little bit.
Have a wonderful Independence Day. I'm not American, but hey.
I wish that's like an independence sign, not this, but
that's not American.
never mind.
Anyways,
guys.
Yeah. No, but for real though, you guys get online, subscribe to theStream.tv, and watch PLLAS in 2 weeks. We're back. And then also, using the hashtag PLLAS. Tweet us your comments, questions, theories, and let us know what you think about some of the stuff that we talked about tonight. Okay?
Yeah. All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
More awesome shows. Hit that button and subscribe to theStream.tv.